Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Human Interaction Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Hambone Hambleton. And again, it's been a little while. Been a little while since I released anything. The last thing I put out was the 420 quarantine check-in, which was a decent little episode, I guess. Didn't quite make it to an hour like I normally like to, but what are you gonna do? I didn't have someone else to carry me like I normally do, but I'm working on that. I tried some quick fixes to get a video stream, or at least be able to do video episodes. You know, those things that podcasts consist of. I don't know. I couldn't think of the word. I couldn't think of episodes. I paused a little bit, and I had to make fun of myself because that's what I do. Anyway, I now I forget what I was saying. Oh, right. I've been working on this. Is a fucking hot start, man. Just off to the races right away. Holy shit! I should be doing this more often. Anyway, I've been trying to work out some quick fixes to get to make this video, so I can do some Zoom conference calls or Google Hangouts. I don't know what you use. And I'm not judging you either way, but I'm trying to make it for the third time now. I'm trying to finish a statement is what I'm trying to do. I've been trying some quick fixes to get video capable, basically, but nothing seems to work, even though it should. And I'm thinking maybe it's just time to drop a couple $100 on an updated laptop, because my laptop is fucking 12 years old or something like that, which is that's a dinosaur in technological terms. So yeah, trying to do the research on that, but I'm really bad at researching things because I'll just take the time to. I'm really good at researching, actually, is the problem, because I'll try to find the best deal. I'm a bang for my buck kind of guy. And oftentimes that means I'll end up spending $15-20 on a fix that doesn't work. And then I'm right back at the drawing board, or the starting line. I don't know what the phrase is. I don't know what adage I was going for there. I think I kind of mixed them up, and we'll roll with it. It's cool. Going to be a lot of editing, a lot of post-production on this one. I did end up getting... Ooh, you hear that wheeze? God, maybe I do have coronavirus. Maybe I should just not smoke so many cigarettes. That's probably the case. Anyway, folks, my people, let me get back on track here. If I don't remember what track I was on. Anyway, I'm thinking that it's time to just spend a couple $100 on updated equipment, and then I won't have any of these problems. I won't have to do quick fixes because things will work like modern technology should. So that's coming up soon. I'm going to be doing... It'll make it easier, too. I won't have to travel as much, and other people won't have to travel to me. We can just hop on. People are accustomed to it now. They don't care if the audio's a little digitalized, a little distorted. They don't care if the video's a little grainy. At least if they like the people they're listening to. If you're a fan of someone, you don't really care. I don't have fans, so maybe I should go for top tier production level and just try to bring in some people. I don't know. You think that it's definitely not the content that's the problem, right? Anyway, I'm basically just doing another little check-in. There's some things that I've watched recently, and things that I've to information that I've taken in recently that I'd like to talk about. And I don't have the capability right now to talk to someone else about it, so I'm just going to talk to you by myself. I'm going to do all the talking, which is cool, I guess. I don't know if you're into that sort of thing. Which I am. I'm very into that sort of thing. I was thinking about it today, like as far as comedy goes and stuff like that, like I'm a pretty tough guy to disappoint because I just like the idea that someone wants to talk to me for an hour. You know? I'm cool. I'm cool with whatever you say as long as you're talking to me. We'll fucking get through a conversation somehow. Even if it's one-sided, even if it's me watching you on television. I like to imagine that. God damn it, I gotta get used to this thing. I'm sure you just heard that little bump, even though I'm gonna try to take it out in post. But yeah, I got one of them fancy schmancy scissor arm mic holders now, so I can look all cool when I do my video podcast. But again, bang for my buck kind of guy. I went with the $13 cheap one, and now if you like bump it, the springs vibrate and you get this like hum in the background. So again, maybe I should just drop the $20 extra, but I don't have a job. I'm living off of state and federal assistance right now, which a lot of people are, and that's cool. Not cool. That's not cool at all. In fact, I just meant it's okay. We're all in this together, you know. And that's again, we're still trying to reopen. Too early, in my opinion. I don't think people are being intelligent about it, you know. Which is one of the things I wanted to talk about. I tried to watch Plandemic. I tried to, but I was too late, and YouTube has already taken it down, and a bunch of other platforms have already taken it down. And yeah, that's kind of lame, but it's also like very, very false information is included. So at least from, you know, all the debunking videos I can watch plenty of people rip that fucking documentary to shreds, but I can't. And documentary is used very loosely here. From what I understand, it's interviewing one person the whole time. So there's really no opposing views in it. It's just literally one disgraced scientist insulting a former coworker is basically what I gather that quote unquote documentary is about. So what I have done is I've looked up Dr. Judy Mikovits because I didn't know who she was, and I think that's how you say her name. I just got some background information on her, you know, and her credentials and things that have transpired in her past, just from her Wikipedia page, which I know a lot of people are like, "Whoa, it's crowdsourced," but you're fucking watching a YouTube documentary and using it to refute science. So, Wikipedia is just fine. This has cited articles, cited sources. Anyway, Judy Ann Mikovits, American anti-vaccinations activist, conspiracy theorist, and ex-research scientist is how she's described in the first line of her Wikipedia page, which again, someone probably updated that, and there's a little bias in that description. I get it. I get what you're saying, but doesn't seem to be inaccurate to me, you know? So basically she did a lot of work in the 80s with HIV and AIDS, which is where her apparent feud with Fauci comes from. She sounds like a kind of a disgruntled coworker to me, or employee. and again, I can't see what she actually said about the guy. Just, third party accounts, because I can't watch the documentary, which again is kind of lame, but also probably helpful in this day and age, the information age, the disinformation age, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. I gave myself notes. Don't worry, everybody. I'm going to try to keep myself on track. So, she's recently gained more notoriety, basically, in 2020 because of being in the pandemic video. But in her early career, she worked at a pharmaceutical company in Kalamazoo, Michigan, working to develop production methods to ensure biological materials manufactured using human blood products were free of contamination from HIV and AIDS. So what she basically did was make sure that she helped to develop tests and production methods for HIV drugs, or for biological materials that were produced with human blood. She made sure the blood was clean, and she was basically QA for this company. Like, we got to make sure the blood's clear of HIV, so develop a test for that. She also developed purification methods for interferon alpha at the National Cancer Institute before that. And type 1 interferons are a large subgroup of interferon protons that help regulate the activity of the immune system. So she's helping people a lot. She's helping fight viruses. She's developing methods to keep people safe and healthy. In 2006, she became the research director at the Whittemore-Peterson Institute, which was founded by Harvey Whittemore and his wife after being they were frustrated because they didn't have a lack of answers for chronic fatigue syndrome, which their daughter apparently had. So in 2007, she met Robert Silverman. He found XMRV sequences, which is xenotropic murine leukemia virus-related virus. It's a virus-related virus, huh? You don't say. Which, to me, in my uneducated brain, says that he discovered this new form or this new genome for cancer, basically a new way to tell a new thing inside of cancer, inside of leukemia. Yeah, again, I'm an idiot reading this stuff, so take it for what it's worth. So she had an article posted or published in the journal Science, where they had linked XMRV to chronic fatigue syndrome. And then soon after, negative results were published disputing her findings. Silverman, the co-author, the guy who she was working with, said that he was concerned about lab contamination, despite our best efforts to avoid it. So 2 of the original authors of that paper subsequently reanalyzed the samples used in the research and found that the samples were contaminated. Meaning she fudged the results. And in December of 2011, Robert Silverman, the guy who wrote the article with her, requested that the journal Science retract the paper in its entirety. So, basically, she was accused of falsifying information, and the guy that she worked with, her coworker, said, yeah, take those findings down, please. Just not a good look, I'm not passing any judgment, but I am passing judgment. Because in any other situation, people fucking, when people admit they're wrong, we're like, okay, but like I don't know, one person versus the entire field of medicine, pretty much, it just, seems like a battle you're not going to win, and one that you probably shouldn't be fighting because you're most likely wrong. You know, just my opinion. Just my opinion. So, she's, a little egg on her face there. She wrote this article, these great, astounding findings, and then it turns out that she's basically Annie Ducon from How to Fix a Drug Scandal. Also something I watched recently. Also something very, very interesting. But yeah, she's basically falsifying test reports and then using them in an official capacity to alter the lives of people. So it's not a great thing. So anyway, back to her history. Apparently she was fired because of the lack of integrity in her work, or disputes over it, is what the wiki article says. She was fired due to disputes over the control of lab samples and the integrity of her work. She subsequently came under investigation for alleged manipulation of data in her publications related to XMRV. She was arrested in November of 2011 and jailed for 5 days because WPI, her former employer, alleged that she stole lab notebooks, a computer, and other materials. She was held temporarily pursuant to that case, and her lawyer said the charges had no merit. Apparently she returned all this stuff and charges were dropped because I think it was basically like, dude, just give us our shit back and we're cool. But I don't know, because there's not much about that case in the wiki article. But basically, she then went on to really, really go off the deep end, as they say. You know, she links vaccinations to cancer and autism, and claims that the deep state and big pharma are out to get her. And that may very well be true, but I think they're out to get all of us. And I think sometimes there is, most of the time, there's probably they're not trying to harm us medically. They're just trying to hit us in the wallet. That's all anybody cares about is money. So, I'm not going to read through the whole article, but that's what I found when I looked up this expert witness from the video that I've really only seen people talking shit on. I have not seen one person come out and be like, this makes total sense. Just a lot of people saying it's false and dangerous, in fact. Which, if there is a deadly virus going around, it is pretty dangerous. And I do believe that there's a deadly virus going around. So I do believe that that's dangerous, and I think it's probably pretty good that it's been pulled from platforms. But, I've seen people crying censorship and blah, blah, blah. It's like, those are private companies. They can do whatever they want. Just like a business can tell you that you have to wear a mask inside or you can't come in. That's a private company. It's not publicly owned. I think those companies are publicly owned, but they still reserve the right. You say when you click yes, I agree to terms of use, you agree that anything can be taken down at their will. So you signed up for that, dude. If you really, really want to get this information out there, I'm addressing the creator of Plandemic, who I don't even know his name, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to this. I'm pretty sure. If he does, maybe I really do have to rethink the content. Anyway, if he really wants to get this video out there, man, he can just do the Louis C.K. thing. Just buy a website, host your shit there. He spent the $500 to make this documentary. Spend $30 to host the video online for a month, Enough people will steal it. It'll get circulated. It's how the internet works. Not that I think you should, but I do kind of want to watch it. I do. I want to see what everybody's talking about, Um, so that moves me on to one of the things that I've watched 3 or 4 times now since I've found it, and it's not like hard to find. It's on HBO. It's a documentary, HBO documentary. So it's good. It is called After Truth, and it's a fake news documentary. It's about the disinformation campaigns that have plagued our social media, our social networks, and our that's a problem right there. Calling it social media is, man. Which media is just like the form of whatever information takes. It's the medium. It's how you get the information across. So, like, media has been made overly specific in its definition in 2020, where generally we generalize too much. We overgeneralize words, but that's one that's been shrunk down to mean a very specific group of people, and not, the media is the newspaper or the video that you watch. That's the media. Or just the nature of video itself, or audio, radio. That's a medium. That's the media. The media isn't the people. That's not what that word means, but it's what we've come to define it as. Anyway, it's After Truth is from director Andrew Rossi. I believe it was released in 2019. Sorry, I hit the springs again. And I find it fascinating. I think everybody should watch it, if only to make it pretty obvious what's going on, and how people are manipulating you through your fucking phone. Like, it's not the government that's doing this. It's independent actors who know that they can make money off of feeding you whatever you want to hear. That's how the algorithms work. And they go over some of that with Facebook and its involvement in disinformation during the 2016 campaign, but really it starts in 2015. And I'm not going to give a whole big recap, because I want people to watch this. I think it's an important piece of media that people should watch. But I want to give you some highlights. So really, we started noticing this stuff in like 2015 in Texas with the Jade Helm conspiracies, which was like a training exercise that was held in rural Texas. And that's where, the Walmart containment camp conspiracy theories started, and things like that. And it's just crazy. It's crazy how people will find whatever they're looking for, and that's become easier and easier in the internet age. You can find whatever you're looking for, and you will. Like, you can find any piece of information that corroborates pretty much anything that you believe. And I said this in the last episode, that doesn't mean it's true. That doesn't mean it's correct. It just means that it agrees with what you say. And there's tons of shit out there. Again, that's why Wikipedia is not a respected source, because anyone can post anything in there. And the internet is an even broader spectrum, where literally, like I said, you can pay $30 and you can put your documentary about how the coronavirus is a hoax. You can do that for like $30, no problem. And millions and millions and millions, billions of people can potentially see it. So, and you can write algorithms on social media that will show it to specific people who watch similar things. And it's crazy. It's scary. In fact, especially because you have these guys on camera. They're freely admitting, like, yeah, no, we created fake social media accounts. We ran fake news stories. We made up sexual assault allegations against politicians and important figures. You know, it's what it is because there's no law against it. And as I've said in previous episodes, Zuckerberg, they talk about this where he sat down with Congress and Congress was completely clueless. They all focused on the terms of use and the privacy issues, which are rampant in Facebook, but no one wanted to talk about like, hey, this is a super powerful tool, and this algorithm will it seeks out people who want to see certain information. It's wild. I don't understand how all of that works, but I know it works to constantly deliver content that is targeted. It's targeted content, basically. Very basically. So, geez, excuse me. So, yeah. Very, very frightening when the reality is put right in your face, and the people that are doing this are freely admitting it. And you can actually watch them in the act of starting an online rumor of fake. You can watch them create a fake news story. It's all right there on camera, and it's all completely legal. So there's no reason that these people shouldn't be doing it unless they don't want people to know that they're doing it, which they don't really seem to care. So, yeah, terrifying. And it's on both sides of the political spectrum. It's not just Republicans that are doing it. Now, they were the ones who started it, at least in American politics, like domestic American politics. But to combat that, as the one asshole says, if you look at World War I, other countries were using chemical weapons. I guess that means we have to, or else we're behind. It's kind of one of those things. So I imagine in the future we're either gonna ethics are going to be thrown out the window completely, or we're really going to try to rein that in, like we did with chemical warfare and atomic warfare. Sometimes we do things and then in hindsight, we're like, ugh, a lot of people died. Oops. We probably shouldn't do that one again. That would be my presidential statement. If ever I was responsible for a tragedy, which I'm sure is very likely if I were ever elected president. But yeah, so oops, hindsight. Sorry, guys. Try to make sure that doesn't happen again, and be very well received. And this is not a new tactic either. It's not something new. It's been going on. I mean, fake news has been going on for centuries. The first book ever printed was the Bible. There you go, right there. First thing we ever printed was fake news. First thing ever printed for distribution was fake news, the Bible. You heard it here first, folks. But there are political operatives that for years and years and decades at least in other countries, for whatever government they're working for, it's American actors have done it. There's been and I say actors, not like movie stars, actors, people acting, carrying out an operation. It happens all the time. Fake news is planted either to make someone look bad or make someone look good. It depends on what you want, but it's been going on forever. It's just super, super easy and accessible to do it now because the people have a degree in internet research and they're gonna find what they're looking for. I can't stress that enough. Like that's something that someone said to me a long, long time ago. I forget in regards to what, but it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it's very true. People are going to find what they're looking for. And you just need to put it out there, and they'll find it, Unless it's something creative, unless it's a podcast or stand-up comedy or like some obscure album, they won't find it then, but they'll find the thing that allows them to be an asshole and talk down to other people because they listen to scientists and doctors who haven't been fired and arrested for stealing their former employer's property. But enough about that. I haven't seen it, so I really shouldn't talk too much shit on it. But I can read about people and the people involved. But yeah, that's one thing I think everybody should watch. After Truth on HBO. It's a very well done documentary. They talk about Pizzagate, that conspiracy, how that started from internet forums, and they talk about Facebook and the fake news, the Jade Helm experiment. Experiment. It wasn't an experiment. I'm falling into it now because there are a lot of people who thought that was like a thought experiment. Like, oh, if we just say we're doing them, are they gonna? They thought it was a test for martial law, declaring martial law, and just trying to see how people would react to it. And you should watch it. I don't want to say too much, basically, because I don't want to give spoilers and everything, but it is a very, very provocative documentary. Really, really makes you think, and that's the kind of shit that I like. I also recently did a very bad thing, and I supported Louis C.K. I paid for his new special. And I uploaded it on Google Drive. So if anybody is interested in watching it, let me know, and I'll send you the link, and you can watch it. And if you don't want to pay for it, if you don't want to support Louis C.K., but you still want to see his work, so you can, I assume, shit on it. Actually, don't let me know if that's the case. That's not. I just want people who want to see it to see it. Which again is the route he's gone, and I think that's really where we're heading. Is I think a lot of people are going to start doing more independent productions, and we're gonna move away. Well, Netflix and HBO and Amazon and Hulu, they're gonna stick around. That's pretty much how we're all gonna watch everything within, I don't know, probably 20 years. But I think there's going to be a lot more high quality independent productions. And I think that's going to be good. In fact, I think it's going to increase the diversity of things that are out there, and increase the availability and the exposure of people who are doing some pretty cool stuff, but are kind of flying under the radar because it's not exactly mainstream or whatever, and it doesn't get picked up. So I think that's a good thing. Actually, I think it's, as with anything, the internet is it's a great tool, but it's also just it can be pure evil. I mean, I've said it for a while. It's a great tool. Like I say it when I have this argument with my dad, who no one wants to talk to anybody face to face anymore. No one, yeah, of course not. I don't want to see another fucking person. People are annoying. They're dumb. If I have to interact with them, I get the irony before I even say this. But if I have to interact with another human being, I want that interaction to be as short as possible, or at least as enjoyable as possible. If I can't go for short, I want it to at least be enjoyable. But yeah, the internet is a phenomenal tool. It is the greatest tool that humankind has ever invented. And what happened was that at least the United States government was in 1995 or whatever. They're like, yeah, I don't think anything big is coming. We don't need to really worry about this. I think we've hit the peak. We can stop working on this shit now because it's a waste of time. No one's ever going to be on their computer all day long researching whatever they want. A couple years later, the whole .com boom thing happened and the internet exploded and the private sector really took off and the public sector did not. And that's how we got to where we are today, where our government, our elected officials are all, first of all, pretty old and out of touch, and second of all, have no idea what's going on the internet because the government wasn't there to tell them how to do it. These are, again, as I always say, I don't have good ideas. I don't have good points. And now he's fucking sawing something downstairs. You fucking kidding me? I know you guys can hear that. So anyway, back to Louis C.K. I bought his special. I paid for it. And I watched it because, like, the reviews were all, of course, mostly panning it, saying he should never be allowed to work again and blah, 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 blah. And from some of them, you can tell that they did not even watch the entire thing. They maybe they saw his opening line, which is the same one from the leak set from Governors, a year or two ago. Really, I mean, he was working out this special at that time, so you get some of the same jokes. He actually removed some of the jokes that I liked the most, and not the Parkland kids. That was just him ranting, and that's not even his style. That doesn't. I knew that one wasn't going to make it into the finished product when I heard it, and of course that's the one that got the most attention. So that's not in the special. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble if they really like that one. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to take a break until he's done doing what he's doing. All right, we're back. The neighbor has finished his project, and actually, it was a bit of a godsend, really, a bit of a blessing in disguise because allowed me to take a break and just listen back to the fucking, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of just pure bullshit that that I'm gonna be releasing, but it is what it is. So Louis special, Sincerely, Louis by Louis C.K. Honestly, I'll come out and say it. I thought it was good, not his best special. Hard to top some of the things he's done in the past, but still very good. Still classic Louis. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about where this is going, because I'm going to talk about his whole situation because I've been radio silent on that because I didn't have a podcast. All I had was Reddit. It's the only place I've actually put these ideas out there, but we'll get to that. Don't get ahead of myself. So I don't think any of the reviews I've seen were accurate, basically, because it's either like panning it, saying it's like the biggest piece of shit ever, and he's the biggest piece of shit ever, which is, I'm not going to debate someone's opinion on that because what he did was just terrible. But the art is still great. So, as I have a cat jump up onto my lap here, and tail on the mic, yeah, you're blowing it, man. This is all your fault that this is bad, not mine. I really gotta get a video podcast going. I gotta fucking fix this because now you're just listening to me talk to my cat, and that's great podcasting. So anyway, people ripped on it, and rip on him with, well, all due respect to them. Like, he deserves it for the person that he is, but as an artist, he's pretty amazing still. He talks about the whole situation in the special, and I think he does it in a really good way. Basically, well, I thought his non-apology, which it was non-apology, but I thought that was a good way to address it too. He admitted guilt and said that everybody was not lying. But if you really wanted an apology, then the words "I'm sorry" do have to show up somewhere in there. I get that gripe. Okay, fuck it. I'll just talk about it, and then I'll end this shit show of an episode. So with respect to Louis, and should he be allowed to work again, it feels hacky to even talk about it, but this is important for my 12 listeners to know how I feel about this and my perspective on it. But, okay, so obviously the things he did were shitty, a very shitty thing to do. And okay, I'm sorry, I also smoked a bowl in the break. A little scattered right now. The way he addresses that is basically like, hey, if you, I don't want to tell his joke, so I'm not going to, but he addresses that and he makes kind of a funny joke out of it. Pretty funny joke, pretty fucking funny joke, to be honest. Anyway, back to the all important matter. What he did was not cool by any means. This is not a very nice thing to do to someone, and he deserves all of the public shame and guilt that he got because of it. I'm not arguing any of that. What upsets me. Yeah. I lose sleep over this. I shouldn't even say that because people might believe it. Just because they know me. No, so what I don't understand about some of this is that the last incidents of him, treating someone like less than a human being, that was like 2007, I believe, was the last time that it happened. And so that's over 10 years ago. And if you're saying that he should never be allowed to work again and that he's the scum of the earth, like you're completely ignoring the fact that like people can realize that they made mistakes and that the way they treat people maybe isn't the best and that they should change. You're completely ruling out the fact that maybe he is a changed man, and so therefore you're ruling that out for everybody. That just means people can't change, and that's what you believe, that if you do a really, really bad thing one time in your life, then you can never recover from that. And I get, the severity of what you do. Yeah, I guess can stick with you, and it's pretty terrible thing to do to someone. In his defense, he thought it was consensual, or that everybody was into it in most of the cases. But yeah, I just don't get that like such a staunch position as some people take with it. Like you're completely ruling out the 10 years that didn't happen, and the many years before that in his life when it doesn't appear to have happened, and you're just basically saying that everybody's mistakes define them, and so you have to rule out for yourself as well that you can't change either. You can't recover from past mistakes, and they're always going to define you. I don't know. I think it's dumb to take a really, really hard stance on anything that doesn't directly affect your life. you know, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't really worth coming back for, but maybe someone thinks it is. I'm gonna be getting a video podcast video set up here as soon as I can. I got to save some of that Trump money so he can pay for my medical marijuana card, because I think that's some poetic justice. And I don't know. Fuck, guys, I lost it. I didn't have much mojo to begin with, but now I totally lost it. There's no mojo left. So July 12th, come to the Lizard Lounge, because that show is still on for July 12th with Liz Mealy. Hopefully we're not in the red zone anymore at that point, and maybe 40 or 50 of you fine people can come hang out and have some laughs. Jared McCauley is going to be hosting that one. He just started a new podcast with a guy that I don't know in Philly. David, I know his first name's Feinstein. I don't know how to pronounce these crazy Jewish names. And end the episode with some good old fashioned anti-Semitism. That's a good way to go. There, Hambone. Jared McCauley's going to be hosting that one. His podcast is called So Tell Us. Seems like it's just comedians talking with comedians. If that's the kind of thing you're into, check it out. Come see him at the Lizard Lounge July 12th. I'm going to be on there, probably doing like 10 to open. And Audrey Marsh is featuring, and Audrey is just lovely. You're going to have a great night. $15 if you order before, $20 at the door. Links in all of my social media. You can find that information. I'm Whiskey Hambone on Twitter and Instagram. Those are my handles. And on Facebook, Andrew Hamilton. You can find me on there. If you're listening to this, you know that already. But this is what you have to do on podcast. You have to plug your shit. You gotta tell people where to see you, so they can not show up. But if you showed up to listen to this, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I hope you'll come back next time. I tried to do my smooth radio outro, and I fucked it up. Goddamn. Hey, before I go, actually, one more thing. One more little interesting tidbit. I got my official mail-in ballot in the mail for the Pennsylvania Democratic primary. And Bernie Sanders' name is still at the top of the list. So for the primary, if you really wanted to support him, the only harm it's going to bring by filling in that box is that you're just going to be really disappointed when the DNC doesn't run him out there anyway. But, vote with your heart. That's what I always say. Vote with your heart and your stomach. Vote with your heart and your stomach. All right? This has been Human Interaction. I'm your host, Andrew Hambone Hamilton. And I will talk to you guys next time. Or girls. God damn it. I'm going to get a smooth one. We're going to get there. We're going to make it. We're gonna make it to a smooth outro. I'm gonna have some cool music come in, like I always do, because I'm a fucking artist. And I'm gonna say something real cool, like, "Hey guys, I thank you for listening." All right, I think I butchered this enough. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye. The fuck was that? It's not a goddamn message. Fucking voicemail.
And I'm frustrated with myself, but I can't change. I don't want to be me anymore. and all the ticks and talks and clicks of clocks that tell time. Tell me this is just a game. And everything every day that's been driven away at the side of my brain can't come to form a thought except and all the thoughts I think I've taken for this and remaining away, and I still can't sleep. Say, why can't you tell me what I wanna hear to help me get some rest, oh my darling dear? The songs of the birds don't bring me calmness no more. Oh no, no, they don't sing. None of the girls seem to think you're cool. It's probably 'cause you smell bad. Skin disease won't get you know these days. It's true, it's sad, but it's true. And everything every day that's been dripping away at the side of my brain can't come before the thought. And none of the thoughts I think of JV producer, they just keep eating away. And I still get buzzing. We're gonna make plans. We have plans to make plans.
We're gonna make plans.
Do
We
it
have
right.
plans to make
We
plans.
locked
Gonna
it
do
in
it
our sights.
right,
We
right.
locked
We
it in
locked
our
it in our
sights.
sights.
I'll la-di-da.